In a world of glitz, glamour, and great tunes, one man brings you the magic. Andy Snowden, Stage and Screen, only on Wrexham Premier Radio.
The extraordinarily talented Red Hot Chilli Pipers on the Stage and Screen show with their version of AC/DC's Long Way to the Top. If you want to rock and roll, how about that? And since they were formed back in 2002, following a cameo appearance at the Tea in the Park with The Darkness, up until last year, absolutely storming it at last year's Glastonbury Festival. The past 20 years have seen the Red Hot Chilli Pipers become the most famous bagpipe band on the planet ever. Bagpipes with attitude, they say, drums with a Scottish accent, and a show that leaves people with a warm heart and smiles on their faces. And next week, Friday the 13th of June, the Pipers will be playing at the Warrington Parr Hall. That's Friday the 13th of June. And earlier this week, I caught a word with Kevin McDonald of the Red Hot Chilli Pipers. In a moment, I shall give you some deets about the Warrington Parr Hall show, but before we do, check this out. Kevin McDonald on the Stage and Screen show. I can't believe it's over 20 years, the Red Hot Chilli Pipers. It's amazing.
It is, yeah, incredible to get this far after such a long period of time, and people still want to come out and listen to how we can take a good bagpipe or a good track and destroy it with bagpipes.
But I read that you formed almost by accident, really, after a one-off gig with The Darkness, Tea in the Park, and then the rest is history. Is that how it worked?
Sort of. We had an idea of creating a concept for doing bagpipes and rocking music and stuff like that, because there was 3 bagpipes originally. We owned a business together, and we were all going out separately doing corporate events, doing weddings, etc. And then we were like, this is a bit rubbish, because we weren't actually to get time together. But in between, sometimes at a corporate event, you would pipe guests in, then you would pipe them in, the haggis in, and then you maybe play at the end of the night. So you sit in a green room and you see all these artists coming through, whether it be vocalists, singing waiters, violinists, whatever it happens to be, that wee 30-minute entertainment bit after dinner. Yeah. And we were like, actually, we could actually do something. And that's really where the formation of the idea came to. And then The Darkness asked us if we could put some bagpipers on stage back in 2003, I think it was. And the kind of culmination of all of that led to us creating the band. And then from there, because we knew the agents when we were doing the weddings and the corporate events, we posted the idea of, how about you book us for this? And agents being agents said, yeah, that's fine, we can't pay you anything, but we can book you, knowing that they were probably charging a few quid to do it. And we were just happy to get some exposure. Fantastic.
And also, I mean, it seems to me, from the outside looking in, that you seem to be constantly on tour. Is that how it feels your end?
It does, yeah. You never get, the thing about this business is it never really seems to stop. We have a continual schedule that just keeps going around the world, and it's great fun.
Yeah. And I've got to ask you about Glastonbury. You played Glastonbury last year. I was just looking at some of the videos on YouTube this morning, and you absolutely rip the place apart there. I'm intrigued by people who get to play Glastonbury. Tell me about it. What is it like no other gig, or is it just another day at the office?
It depends because my alter ego is I'm an accountant. So if you ask the accountant, it's the worst paying gig you'll ever have in your life. But as a musician, it's a gig you want to have. So from an experience point of view, it was tremendous. From a monetary point of view, probably the worst fee we've ever negotiated in a 20-year history of the band, but I know that it obviously does a lot of good things for charity and stuff like that, so happy to support it. And even just getting, I say it tongue-in-cheek, it's, it is probably the pinnacle of an artist in the UK to get to play with Glastonbury and get to have the turnout that we had.
Yeah, I mean, it's iconic, isn't it? I mean, it's a great thing to have on your CV, and that's something your money can't buy, I suppose.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. To be fair, again, you would actually genuinely do that for nothing if you had the opportunity of what you get to go and experience that buzz on stage.
Yeah. My nephew is he's in a band, and I think he was saying, because they auditioned for it, they had to audition. The smaller bands have to audition before they go, and they said, oh, I mean, it was, they were almost having to pay themselves.
That's pretty much it. You got it in a nutshell.
Yeah. But the Red Hot Chili Pipers, it's such a... Incidentally, the name is awesome, by the way. I've always thought it's... Because it does... It covers all bases. It does exactly what it says on the tin. And it's very comical. It's brilliant. When that idea came into the office, you must have just been jumping for joy when that came through.
I think the thing is, it was totally by accident. It was, one of the guys, we'd already come up with the concept of the five of us doing a bit of kind of bagpipes and rock music and all the stuff that goes together for the half an hour. We just really didn't have a name at that point. They were just, bagpipes for rock, and you're like, all right, okay, that's not very cool. Yeah. And then just by chance, one of the guys was, we often joke about, he was supervising while his girlfriend was tidying up his flat, and she sorted out his bagpipe collection, or his musical collection into genres, and she put a Pepper CD in amongst his bagpipe collection. He said, why did you do that? And he said, I thought it said Red Hot Chili Pipers, and there you go. That was the name spun out of something out of nothing.
Wow. And it's just as simple as that. A mistake.
There is absolutely no other genius other than that, and that is genuinely it.
I love that as a story. Brilliant. But I was going to say that the Red Hot Chili Pipers, it's such one of your gigs is such an exhilarating experience with this genre of music that you've actually created yourselves. It's called bag rock, as you say. And
yeah, absolutely.
Is that something that has evolved over the years, or was that always there?
No, it was always there, but in terms of like how to try and make it a bit funkier, I think people say, well, what is it? And ultimately what we try to do is it's made up of three component parts. Firstly, we take traditional songs and we rock them up. Now that's not any different to any other kind of trad Irish band or trad Scottish band or even trad English band. It just, you try and do something a bit funky. Yeah. The other thing was taking rock music and put it, or rock and pop music and put it on bagpipes. Again, not really been done. I think one of the genius tracks that we came up with very early on was our cover of Everybody Dance, where the band, excluding the pipers, play the melodic line of the track. So everybody knows what the track is, but we actually never, ever play the actual line of the track. We play a traditional Irish number under it.
Yeah. But Everybody Dance.
And that's a merger. That's a merger of the two.
Beg your pardon. Sorry, I talked over you there. But I play Everybody Dance on my radio show very often. I'm probably going to get into trouble for doing it so often. But you famously did AC/DC's Thunderstruck as well, which lends me to asking, are there certain songs that will fit perfectly, and are there others that need a bit of work, or is it, can you basically do it with anything?
No, you're right there in one sense. There's ones that just automatically work and you're like, right, we've got that nailed, that's fine. Yeah. And sometimes we've got that nailed, but to be fair, we can only do 30 or 40 seconds out of that because there's only part of the track that would work. There's also other ones where you're like, okay, we could probably shoehorn a little bit into this, and there's other ones that the scale's too high. We've only got one scale to work with, or one tuning basically, so a melodic scale. So there's certain tracks that just will never work. Like 500 Miles has been tried on bagpipes, but you have to use alternative notes. Yeah. And whilst you get away with it, for us it just doesn't sound great, so we would never do it.
No, and I think it's really exciting when you realise as the listener what you're actually listening to, and it's been given the bagpipe treatment. It's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's great fun to do, and I think that's part of the big show that we do when people look at it and go, are they really playing that? Yeah. Or what is that? Because I know it, and then obviously you see the penny dropping.
Yeah. But I find the bagpipes, and I always have, even when I was a kid, they're such an emotive instrument. They can make you euphoric and have you crying your eyes out. It's quite unique in that respect, isn't it? The bagpipes.
100%. Yeah, very much so. And it's the one thing about bagpipes is they're a beautiful instrument until they're played horribly badly. and horribly and badly in the same sentence is a bit of a weird one. But yeah, they can play them. People can play them badly, and they can play them horribly at the same time. So it's it can be an ear-busting experience if you get somebody that's not very good.
Yeah. But it must be the most difficult instrument to master. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day that plays the violin, and I said, you must have very understanding parents.
Oh, I mean, I can't even. You should probably interview my parents rather than me actually on this one, because when my son talked about taking up, I was like, "Are you really sure you want to do that?" Because I was talking to a person earlier on today, and I said, unlike most instruments like guitar, keyboard, you can within a week you can pretty much get something out of it.
Yeah.
Bagpipes, you're years till you actually get it to a decent quality that you're like, okay, that sounds all right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And I've spoken to Willie Armstrong from the Red Hot Chili Pipers a couple of times on my show, and he gave me some very good advice for anybody that's to play any instrument, and that was not to practice until you're good, but to practice until you can't get it wrong. And I thought that's genius. That
absolutely 100% agree with Willie on that one.
Yeah, brilliant. Before I let you go, you've got dancers in the show now. That's
yes, we do.
Great move. That's they're fantastic.
Yeah, just adds a bit of variety into the show. It makes it a bit more entertaining and stuff like that. So it's we always try to just, when you're an artist, you're trying to always find something that just keeps the crowd. It's moved or evolved, and sometimes it can't be done musically. So we're trying to do this a bit differently with visuals. Yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's a fantastic production that you guys put on. It's the Red Hot Chilli Pipers. You're going to be coming to the Warrington Parr Hall on Friday the 13th of June. It's been a treat speaking to you, Kevin. Thanks ever so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Cheers, pal. All the best.
Cheers, man. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So next Friday then, the Red Hot Chili Pipers will be gracing the stage of the Warrington Parr Hall. Box office number for the Warrington Parr, it is 01925 442345. 01925 442345. Go on, support your local theatres, ladies and gentlemen. They won't be there forever if you don't.
This is Wrexham Premier Radio. Showcasing the newest hits that everybody's talking about. Don't miss out.